This is CTV News with Nafisa Kareem.
Health equity is going to improve very significantly. People will get better quality care faster, and their health outcomes will improve. Better quality of life.
A windfall for residents in Oceanside. New family physicians are on the way. How many doctors have been secured, and the potential a new clinic is hoping to reach. Also tonight.
Folks really want to be given opportunities to get back to the communities where they work.
Unleashing a wave of support. Local charities hope for a boost ahead of the holidays on Giving Tuesday. Plus, Adam finds out how a 4-year-old is proving to be a superhero at a Cowichan care home. Later on the Sawatsky sign-off. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We begin on the University of Victoria campus, where an unsanctioned event by a small group of residential school deniers was drowned out by an overwhelming show of support for survivors. CTV's Yvonne Raymond takes us there now, and a warning: some subject matter in the story may be upsetting to some viewers.
A crowd gathers below the University of Victoria's survivors flag with a distinction to make clear ahead of an unsanctioned arrival.
This isn't a counter-protest. We're not here for people who would deny these truths. We're here for each other, we're here for survivors, and we're here to affirm in a positive way.
Despite a planned event that wasn't allowed by UVic administration for permitting reasons, a political leader, Dallas Brody, and 2 others who have openly questioned suspected unmarked graves on the grounds of a former residential school in Kamloops showed up anyway.
There were no bodies found in Kamloops, and there haven't been any. And actually, our party, 1BC, has done a documentary, which you might want to watch.
They were asked to leave the grounds while this circle carried on.
I know many of you are probably dealing with the frustrations and anger. I know I am. But we are channeling it to show our light.
A residential school survivor says he can't sit back and be idle.
I thought, as a guy who's 60 now, that we were kind of done when TRC came through and I was able to give my statement and traveled around the province watching these events happen. But here we are 10 years later, still dealing with this in a new way, in a way that's really scary.
Students here hope their attendance speaks louder than any words of doubt.
I think this is a clear demonstration of the truth of how Canadians feel and what we know we need to do. I think they can say they have all the support that they want, but this shows what people actually believe and what we actually support.
We stand with survivors and survivor stories. Together, we are all stronger than that hate.
Yvonne Raymond, CTV News, UVic.
The Mid-Island will soon be home to 4 new family doctors, and there's potential to add more. The Primrose Medical Center is set to open next September in Qualicum Beach. At full capacity, the clinic would house 6 to 10 physicians, attaching 10,000 patients to a primary care provider. The clinic has been the work of a not-for-profit organization called the Mid-Island Health Alliance. The group says it's a major milestone in addressing the critical shortage of primary care in the area. Now, in addition to primary care, the clinic will host a rotation of specialists, improving access and reducing wait times for patients.
And we're in what I call no man's land. We're equidistant between Comox, Nanaimo, and Port Alberni. So we're like the forgotten about rural little neighbor that just kind of does our best to get by. But ultimately, when we create a hub that'll bring those resources to us in a decentralized fashion, rural health equity is going to improve very significantly. People will get better quality care faster, and their health outcomes will improve. Better quality of life.
The group says its success depends on financial donations from the community, and they are accepting donations to continue with construction and to purchase equipment. The town of Crofton and overall Cowichan Valley was dealt a heavy blow today. The Crofton mill is permanently shutting down. The mill's owner, Domtar, announced today 350 employees will be impacted as they completely shutter the pulp operation. The company says poor pricing for pulp and a lack of fiber in BC led to the closure. Domtar says it's exploring a number of Options for the future of the massive waterfront mill site. The mill will officially close December 15th, though the company says work at the site will keep people employed until at least February. Today is Giving Tuesday, which is touted as a global generosity movement, unleashing the power of people and organizations to transform their community by either volunteering their time or making a charitable donation. CTV's Brendan Strain shows us that was certainly the case today, with many pitching in to lend a hand, but it also comes with a warning, as many scammers could be out looking to take advantage of your generosity.
Today is Giving Tuesday, 24 hours designed to break from the consumerism of Black Friday and Cyber Monday and give back. In Langford, the Goldstream Food Bank got little help from their friends at Fortis BC.
Our folks really want to be given opportunities to give back to the communities where they work.
Langford was one of 3 communities selected this year across the province by Fortis, and the focus of the giving landed on the food bank.
The need is unbelievable.
30 Fortis employees packed up roughly 800 Christmas hampers that will be distributed next week. The energy company didn't stop there, investing $30,000 into 2 freezer upgrades at the food bank that were on their last legs.
They're like brand new now. Absolutely beautiful.
In Nanaimo, Gordon Hayes decided to give back to the BC Cancer Foundation, an organization that he credits with saving his life.
We actually met him back in 2018 when he came through for his care at BC Cancer Victoria.
Gordon has offered to match up to $500,000 in charitable donations made to the BC Cancer Foundation, ending at midnight tomorrow night.
Help bring cutting-edge treatments, new equipment, compassionate care, better access to cancer care all over the province.
It's Giving Tuesday, and we are giving back to you.
UVic students and staff were giving back today as well at an event raising money for many causes across the campus, including student wellness, mental health, and the campus's food bank.
The fund specifically I donate to is called Pathways to Education.
I am volunteering today with the Giving Tuesday.
We've already unlocked over $48,000.
Well, we've raised over $1 million since 2016.
On a day like today, many donations will be made online. And that comes with a warning from an online digital literacy company based on the West Shore.
There is always scamsters and fraudsters out there looking to take your money.
Brendan Lauer recommends, when making a donation, to always go to a charity's website directly. As well, he says, to always use a credit card, as most already have a lot of consumer protections put in place.
Most of the stuff that happens are typically through bad, malicious web links.
Giving Tuesday has become a global movement, encouraging you to give back to a charitable organization within your community. And that was certainly the case across all parts of Vancouver Island today. Brendan Strain, CTV News, Victoria.
'Tis the season for holiday parties and police counterattack roadblocks. Saanich police say they have already taken 434 impaired drivers off Saanich streets this year. Nearly half of those drivers received a 90-day roadside suspension. 628 impaired drivers were nabbed in 2024, up 160 from the year before. Police say they will be stepping up their efforts to stop impaired drivers for the rest of the month. The Saanich Police Department has presented its draft budget to City Council, seeking an increase of roughly 6.7% or $3.5 million. If approved, that would bring SPD's total budget to over $55.6 million. The bulk of the budget increase is tied to salary and operational costs. One of the asks is for 2 officer positions who would form the department's first mental health response team.
Mental health calls continue to increase year over year, and the time that it takes of a patrol officer at the scene and then at the hospital essentially takes them off the road, and it limits our ability to field and respond to other 911 calls. This is designed to alleviate that pressure and to get people in need the services they require as quickly as possible.
If the team is established, the hope is to expand it down the road with trained mental health workers from Island Health. The City of Victoria is granting a holiday wish for drivers: free parking downtown. You can get a one-time credit of $6 through the Park Victoria app. That covers roughly 2.5 hours of parking. The discount code is JOY25. Last year, the city says more than 20,000 people used it, which equates to roughly $120,000 in free parking.
We recognize that parking can be a challenge for some drivers. That's why we are offering this campaign through to December 13th. It allows a patron to visit the downtown core, and whether it's to take in lunch or to do a little bit of Christmas shopping.
Drivers can also park for free in Victoria Parkades on Sundays and on holidays. BC Transit is refreshing its long-term vision and asking HandyDart users to weigh in on what the future looks like for the service. BC Transit says the online survey and open houses will focus on enhancing customer experiences and cover topics such as bookings, wait times, and reliability. Comments gathered will go into the refreshed and updated Victoria Regional Transit Plan to be used until 2050. There is a series of 3 in-person meetings with transit planners throughout the month of December on the West Shore, downtown Victoria, and in Sydney. The online survey, times, and locations for the meetings can be found on the BC Transit website. It's open until December 22nd. Still to come, parents grieving for their son.
There's no enforcement of the people that are actually out there selling this to our kids.
A family's heartbreaking story in an uphill battle to fight the supply of illegal drugs. 6 degrees, a beautiful night shaping up. Josh will be back after the break with the full forecast.
CTV Weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Make the most of your next vacation by booking with those who've been there. Visit expediacruises.ca.
What makes West Shore Parks and Recreation a perfect place to play? It's our staff, working behind the scenes to keep the pool safe, kids engaged, and programs thriving. So apply today and join our team.
Josh is here now with a forecast. Josh, rain is coming.
Thanks, Nafisa. We've got some showers that'll move into northern parts of the island overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. That'll wash across northern parts and sort of turn over to showers, then a bit of a break, and then some steadier rain in the north through Wednesday afternoon. Now, you'll notice Comox, Nanaimo, Victoria. I mean, there's maybe a couple scattered showers for inland areas, maybe up around Comox tomorrow. But for the most part, just looking at mostly cloudy skies. The best chance for rain is going to come Wednesday night and through the first half of the day Thursday. This is Thursday morning. Watch what happens as the day goes on Thursday. Now the rain starts to retreat, and so by late in the day, should be just cloudy skies in Victoria. Again, it's not going to be heavy, steady, non-stop rain for the next 3 days in the north, but each of the next 3 days, we will likely see at least some periods of rain. Temperatures not changing all that much in the 7-degree range for daytime highs right through the next 5 days, and by the weekend, chances scattered showers. Could see a few hit and miss showers for inland areas. Temperatures holding steady at around 4 or 5 degrees through the day tomorrow. Not much change to temperatures on Thursday either, with some steadier rain, especially through the first half of the day. A few hit and miss showers on Friday, and then scattered showers potentially Saturday, Sunday. Out of the west coast, a few showers and 8 degrees tomorrow. Some steadier rain Thursday with a high of 9, and then 10 degrees Friday, Saturday. Each of the next 5 days, looking at a chance of rain. Comox, mostly cloudy skies, high of about 6 or 7 degrees tomorrow. You might see a scattered shower midday. Best chance is going to be Wednesday night through the day Thursday for some rain. Back into the 9 or 10 degree range and drier for Friday, Saturday. In Nanaimo, chance of some late day showers tomorrow carrying through into Thursday. Again, by late afternoon Thursday, I think that rain moves out. Temperatures will be around 6 or 7 degrees, so pretty close to average Wednesday and Thursday, and then highs near 10 for Friday, Saturday with a mix of sun and clouds. You might see a few showers to close the weekend on Sunday. In Victoria, 3 degrees tomorrow morning. Cloudy with a few sunny breaks, high of about 7 or 8 tomorrow afternoon, and then late in the day, especially through the evening hours, you get a chance of some showers. That'll carry through into Thursday, as you just saw in Futurecast. Most, if not all, of that rain is gone by mid to late afternoon Thursday, about 8 degrees Thursday, and then double digits for Friday, Saturday. Mixed sun and cloud, high of 12 on Friday, 10 or 11 on Saturday with a chance of scattered showers and maybe a few hit and miss showers on Sunday as well. CTV Weather is brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations.
Thanks, Josh. A joint strike force involving more than 100 police agencies in Canada across several months has resulted in record seizures of fentanyl across the country. Police seized nearly 6,000 kilos of cocaine and more than 1,700 kilos of meth. The initiative ran from May to October of 2025 and netted over $13 million and over 8,000 arrests and charges. RCMP say less than 1% of the fentanyl seizures were traveling south to the U.S. Now, fentanyl has garnered the most headlines and attention here in BC. The province is focusing on harm reduction to keep people alive, but it's an uphill battle to fight the supply of illegal drugs, even to those who seem to have everything going for them. CTV's Andrew Johnson spoke with parents grieving for their son with a powerful message.
Dunlap family lives in this beautiful Vancouver neighborhood. Their son Tyler was popular, loved family, and excelled in sports. Then one morning before school, he never woke up. Tyler's story is one of an outgoing 16-year-old who was fully engaged in life and with his loved ones, but began to struggle. He was affected by his ADHD and anxiety. In the weeks before his death, his parents, Karen and Greg, say he started to spiral. They tried everything.
We actually had him in the hospital 3 times the week he died. Yeah, begging the hospitals and the doctors to help us. But they just...
No, they said, he's fine, take him home.
I said, if you don't help him, I think he's going to be dead in a week.
A week later, their son was dead. A fentanyl overdose. They suspect he was trying to self-medicate. Seeing the news today of the massive drug bust, the Dunlaps applaud police, but wonder why more isn't being done on the ground.
There's no enforcement of the people that are actually out there selling this to our kids for $5 or $10. We're saying to the police, this person is selling lethal drugs, and our son died, and nothing happened.
Tyler is one of more than 16,000 British Columbians who have died from toxic drugs since the province declared a public health emergency 9 years ago. The Dunlaps say they will continue to advocate in their son's memory with the hope of sparing even one family the pain they say they wouldn't wish on their worst enemy.
The Assembly of First Nations Chiefs have unanimously passed an emergency resolution demanding the federal government uphold the oil tanker ban off the coast of northern BC. The vote in Ottawa coming just days after the Prime Minister and Alberta Premier signed an energy deal that sets the condition for a future pipeline. First Nations say Ottawa can't avoid getting informed consent from Indigenous communities when it comes to resource development projects and are calling for the newly minted Memorandum of Understanding with Alberta to be scrapped. Merle Alexander is representing 2 BC Coastal First Nations at the Assembly and says a proposed pipeline is a threat to many people's not just livelihood, but very essence.
First Nations in Canada are feeling overwhelmed, that they're feeling as though there is the duty to consult is being undermined.
Canada can create all the MOUs, project offices, advisory groups that they want, but chiefs are united. When it comes to approving large national projects on First Nations lands, there will not be getting around rights holders.
The message, say the Chiefs, First Nations need to be consulted about development on their territory. The Special Chiefs Assembly continues in Ottawa until Thursday. Coming up, caring dynamo. Adam finds out how a 4-year-old is making a super contribution to a couple at a Cowichan care home. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. Finally, Adam meets a 4-year-old making a super contribution to a Cowichan seniors care home on this Encore Sawatsky Sign-Off.
Well, he's not faster than a speeding bullet, nor more powerful than a locomotive. This 4-year-old is proving to be a superhero.
Dynamo.
A super name.
Dynamo, yeah.
Whose not-so-secret identity is in his right.
Are we done yet?
Are we done yet? A boy who, rather than talk about his abilities,
Let's be done, okay?
would prefer to show how he can escape the confines of a sit-down interview with ease.
Okay, bye.
But before Innes demonstrates his true power, his granny, Joan Wright, reveals the Dynamo's origin story.
So we came here and they
While Innes attempts to fix the camera, Joan says she first brought her grandson to this care home for a friend's 80th birthday party, where the boy met Don Monroe pushing his wife Nancy in a wheelchair.
And he just muscled me aside and says, I want to do it.
So Don let him.
Oh, I thought it was great.
Never imagining where the boy would ultimately lead them.
He bonded with her instantly. I've never seen anything like it.
Well, they certainly never expected for Innes to ask to visit again and again. And now, after almost 8 months of visiting weekly and participating in all sorts of activities with the seniors, to show his exuberance can't be contained.
And he just bursts in here and leaps into her arms. It lights up her day when he comes.
And she smiles the sort of smile that seemed so ever-present in those years since they'd vowed in sickness and in health, until a recent series of setbacks made that smile increasingly elusive. So, you can imagine how grateful Don feels, seeing the dynamo bestowing his superpowers on his beloved Nancy.
He generates that energy and that love.
And that's the story of how young Innes revealed he was the sort of hero who could expand hearts with a single bound.
We just love him to pieces.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Duncan.
That is it for CTV News Vancouver Island. Thank you so much for joining us. Good night. Today on CTV News, a series of massive drug busts.
It's a real shining example of the feds, the provinces, and municipal agencies all working together.
A coordinated cross-Canada operation, the illegal drugs that were seized, and the sweeping arrests. Also tonight.
There is nobody we haven't contacted. I mean, I wrote to the Prime Minister.
Home for the holidays, the runaround endured by a Delta family trying to get their adopted granddaughter home from Kenya for Christmas. And
No. You're one bad mamma jamma.
a goat on the go ends up in police custody. The roadside hilarity that led up to the arrest of this silly Billy.
This is CTV News with Nafisa Kareem.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. New rules are coming to BC's Safe Supply program to stop the pills from being sold on the streets. CTV's Legislative Bureau Chief Rob Buffum joins us live from Victoria. So, Rob, what's the plan?
Well, Nafisa, today's announcement follows a related one from back in February after it was confirmed that safer supply drugs were being trafficked by criminals. That revelation followed a leaked memo indicating that significant amounts of prescribed alternatives were indeed being sold on the streets. As a result, the province required that all new participants in the Safer Supply program consume their drugs in front of a nurse or pharmacist. Today, that expanded to, with a few exceptions, but to all users relying on Safer Supply, including existing ones.
We are helping to separate people from the illicit drug supply through prescribed alternatives program. At the same time, we know it's so important to make sure that these medications only land in the hands of those people for whom they are intended, which is why we are supporting pharmacists and pharmacies, prescribers, in moving to a witnessed consumption model only.
The province says the number of people relying on Safer Supply has dropped from a high of 4,500 in March of 2023 to 2,200 this past July. The province says it is still investigating a number of so-called bad actors. Pharmacies alleged to have been selling Safer Supply to people not prescribed them for kickbacks. Today, the health minister said that investigation is still ongoing. Nafisa.
Thank you, Rob. Police say thousands of kilos of drugs have been taken off the street in a months-long joint operation involving law enforcement agencies right across the country. According to RCMP, the operation, called National Fentanyl Sprint, led to the seizure of 386 kilos of fentanyl, 1,700 kilos of meth, and close to 6,000 kilos of cocaine. Police also seized close to $13.5 million in cash. The operation ran from May until the end of October, involving 100 different police agencies in several provinces. Police say more than 8,000 charges have been filed, but did not specify against how many suspects.
Certainly there's some big players here and there's some smaller departments, but it's a real shining example of the feds, the provinces, and municipal agencies all working together and doing what they can to try and make a dent.
Police say most of the drugs were seized in Quebec and Ontario, with one exception. 51% of the meth was seized here in British Columbia. An emotional day in an Abbotsford courtroom at the sentencing hearing for a man convicted of killing a young Indigenous mother of 2 more than 8 years ago. 70-year-old Gary Loesch had nothing to say as he left court with his lawyers. In July, he was found guilty of manslaughter and indignity to human remains in the stabbing death of 22-year-old Chelsea Gauthier. She was killed in a remote forested area near Mission shortly after agreeing to help him tend to an outdoor marijuana grow-op. In police interviews obtained by CTV News, Loesch repeatedly denied any involvement in the crime, but he was finally charged 3 years ago. Today, Loesch cried in court along with Gauthier's family and friends as 11 victim impact statements were read.
I'm relieved. It's the first sign of any sort of remorse whatsoever, and if it was genuine, maybe he understands what he's done now.
I don't buy it. I honestly think it's an act, and I just don't buy it whatsoever.
Crown is asking for a sentence of 12 years for manslaughter and 2 years for indignity to human remains. Defense submissions will take place tomorrow. The former finance clerk for the city of Surrey had her first court appearance today. 40-year-old Sunny Catlin is accused of stealing millions of dollars of taxpayers' money and faces several related fraud charges. CTV's Ben Nesbitt has more.
Sunny Catlin was not in attendance here at Surrey Provincial Court Tuesday for her initial appearance. Instead, her lawyer appeared on her behalf. Catlin is facing 4 charges stemming from her time as the city's finance clerk. The charges include fraud or breach of trust in public office, fraud over $5,000, theft over $5,000, and forgery. Police say Catlin is accused of accessing city financial systems and creating fraudulent documents and checks for her own personal benefit. The city publicly disclosed allegations of $2.5 million in irregular transactions earlier this year, saying it had filed a civil lawsuit against a former employee who was not named at the time. The city manager said the lawsuit was filed in 2024 after staff identified problems dating back to 2017 involving dormant development deposit accounts. The allegations against Catlin have not been proven in court. The case has been adjourned until the new year. Catlin is scheduled to be back in court on January 6th. Ben Nesbitt, CTV News, Surrey.
A BC Supreme Court judge has certified a class action lawsuit against both CN and CP Rail over the devastating 2021 fire that destroyed much of Lytton. The ruling says there is some basis in fact that the blaze may have been caused by railway operations. The lawsuit represents First Nations and residents who suffered losses, including 2 people who died in the fire. After the break, all they want for Christmas is to see their granddaughter, but all they're getting is a red tape runaround. And later,
this problem of food going to waste and this problem of hunger that are both so real and evident, we want to be the bridge between those two.
No Good Food Left Behind, the new network of nonprofits rescuing fresh food and making sure it gets to people and charities in need. Vancouver police are investigating a multi-vehicle crash on Boundary Road at Southeast Marine Drive. Happened around 10:20 this morning and involved 6 vehicles, including a dump truck. 2 drivers were taken to hospital as a precaution. Crews are still on scene clearing debris. The cause of the crash remains under investigation. A Ladner grandmother and grandfather are making a last-ditch appeal to the federal government to let their 5-year-old granddaughter visit for the Christmas holidays. Their BC-born son has tried for months to get a visitor's visa for the little girl he and his wife legally adopted in Africa, but the application keeps getting rejected. CTV's Shannon Patterson has the story.
What else have we got? Oh, beads.
Jeff and Liz Bruce bought plenty of gifts for their 5-year-old granddaughter Chloe to open at their Ladner home on Christmas Day.
Those are headbands we bought for her. She's very girly.
Chloe was adopted in March by the Bruce's son Michael and his wife, who live in Africa with their 8-year-old biological son.
So he tells Chloe, we're going to Grandma's for Christmas, Grandma and Grandpa's for Christmas. So it was a big deal.
She's never been to Grandma and Grandpa's house for Christmas. She's never seen the decorations. She's never seen snow. And so the plan was for her to come back and for us to have a couple of weeks there.
Chloe's father first applied for a Canadian travel visa for his daughter in the spring.
The first answer that they gave us was that Chloe didn't have sufficient assets to support her stay. Now, I'm not sure exactly what assets a 5-year-old is expected to have, but they said that they were not convinced that she would return at the end of her stay.
Yeah, she's going home. She has parents. She lives in Nairobi. She has a home there. She goes to school there. This is a vacation.
Chloe's dad applied a second time and received a second rejection letter addressed to his daughter.
And when the second letter came through that said there's no indication of the connection between yourself and your adoptive parents. Are you kidding?
We were shocked. We were very surprised. And then we were kind of angry, to be honest, and we don't understand. We don't understand why this is happening.
The desperate grandparents reached out to local politicians.
There is nobody we haven't contacted. I mean, I wrote to the Prime Minister.
But all Chloe's parents could do is try a third time.
This is Chloe's stocking.
3 weeks before Christmas, that application is still being processed.
We've provided all of the government paperwork to demonstrate we have legally adopted her. It doesn't, at this point, make any sense. Why can't we just get a visa for her to come and visit?
If Chloe can't come to Canada, her family will spend Christmas in Africa, which breaks these grandparents' hearts.
We're quite at a loss this Christmas. We don't quite know what to do with ourselves, but we're still hopeful. Miracles happen.
Her message to the Canadian government?
We just want her to come home for Christmas, that's all. We're not asking her to live here yet. We just want her home for Christmas. Please let her go home for Christmas.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News, Ladner.
Now to an alarming statistic that a new organization hopes to change. Nearly 50% of the food in Canada goes to waste, while nearly 1 in 4 households struggles to afford groceries. So to mark Giving Tuesday, the Vancouver Food Recovery Network officially launched today to bridge that food waste gap. Now, they collect surplus food from grocery stores, restaurants, and other avenues. It's then redistributed through markets, home delivery programs, food hubs, community fridges, and partner organizations. It's a coalition made up of the Food Stash Foundation, Vancouver Food Runners, City Reach Care Society, and Quest nonprofit grocery markets.
We hope to serve more people that are in need, really is one of the bottom lines.
Recovery Network is calling on government, the corporate sector, and the public to help continue this work. And they are asking for donors and volunteers. Well, after the break, decking the halls can be dangerous. I mean, we've all seen National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. We'll show you how to stay safe, especially if your decorating plan involves a ladder. Plus, Anne's forecast is next. The twinkling lights of the West End in the night. Lots of twinkling lights out there. People are decorating for the holidays.
Yes, and it was a beautiful day today. Sunshine in there. We are seeing some clouds move in right now. Ridge of high pressure keeping us dry as we head into tomorrow. Different story for the North Coast and Central Coast with that low pushing its way in. So rain right now, and it continues through this evening and overnight, slowly moving its way down to the northern tip of Vancouver Island for your early morning commute. And then in the afternoon, that's where widespread rain will move across Vancouver Island. And then later in the afternoon, evening hours, that's when the lower mainland will see some wet weather. For the southern interior, looking at sunny breaks for Kamloops and Kelowna. Early morning flurries for Vernon before it dries up with a high of 0. You'll see light snow for Revelstoke at 0 with some sunny breaks for Nelson and Cranbrook. For the central interior, 2 to 4 centimeters of snow from Prince George right down to Williams Lake. It'll be soggy along the coast for Bella Coola. Periods of rain with a high of 4 degrees for the northern half of the province. You're looking at wet conditions for Masset, Prince Rupert, and Terrace. Light snow for Dees Lake with a mix of sun and cloud for Fort Nelson, Fort St. John, and Smithers. For the North Island, periods of rain for Port Hardy starting in the afternoon, 6 degrees. Hours starting in the afternoon as well. 6s for Campbell River and Comox. For the South Island, it'll be soggy for Tofino. Showers and sunny breaks for Port Alberni. Light rain moving in the afternoon for Nanaimo and Victoria. Temperatures between 6 and 7 degrees. For the Sunshine Coast, you're you're looking at showers through the afternoon. Soggy up the Sea to Sky Highway for Squamish at 5. Sunny breaks for Whistler at 2. And for us across the Lower Mainland, we are looking at cloudy skies. Slight chance of a shower or two. Temperatures between 5 and 6 degrees. Rain in the evening. Heading into Thursday, we'll see cloudy skies and showers. It'll be wet for Friday. Heading into Saturday, it'll be pretty soggy as well. And then Sunday, we are looking at steady rain with a high of 9. This week, CTV is kicking off the holidays with our favorite event, Toy Mountain. Join us this Thursday and Friday at Guildford Town Centre as we collect new unwrapped toys and donations in support of the Lower Mainland Christmas Bureau. Or you can donate online at ctvvancouver.ca. Let's build a mountain and put smiles on a whole lot of faces for the holidays. Toy Mountain is made possible by our friends at Alpine Credits, Applewood Auto Group, and Triple O's. I'll be there both days, so come on down and say hi.
Yeah, it's always a fun time. Thanks, Sam. Well, safety advocates are reminding everyone to be careful when putting up Christmas decorations, especially when using a ladder. Nearly 500 people in BC end up in hospitals every year, and experts say it can be prevented. Here's CTV's St. John Alexander with the details.
This is one of the most memorable scenes from Christmas Vacation, likely because the audience can relate. In the rush to get it all done, it's never as easy as it looks.
I push the stuff, then I fell down with the ladders. Yeah.
Of course, when someone falls in real life, it's not funny. Just ask Alan Wang. On a ladder, loading parcels, he suddenly tipped back and broke both wrists.
I can clearly hear my bomb is cracked.
That's why WorkSafe and Preventable Injuries have teamed up. Whether putting up lights or on the job, make sure you're using the right ladder and using it properly.
Are there overhead power lines where you'll be working? Is the surface flat? Is it icy? Is it slippery? So that might be an icy substrate if you're in northern BC or in the Kootenays or anywhere in the province where it's icy right now.
Inspect the equipment. Is it in good shape? Check the markings. Can it handle the weight? And when climbing, maintain 3 points of contact.
2 feet and 1 hand, or 2 hand, 1 feet.
Last year, WorkSafe dealt with 876 ladder claims. More than 300 were especially serious. Wang's advice? Take your time and make a plan.
You need a helper. You cannot do it by yourself. Most of people, they just doing by themselves. They think it's very easy. Put the ladders here, climb there, then doing decoration. It's not good.
And of course, make sure the weather is good and there's plenty of light. Their final piece of advice? Ask yourself, do you really need a ladder? Or is there a safer way to finish your festive masterpiece? St. John Alexander, CTV News, Richmond.
After the break, a chilly ordeal for some skiers stranded on a chairlift during a power outage. Plus,
look how cool this car is. Get in the car.
A wayward goat gets picked up by a police officer and hilarity ensues. Those stories and more coming up, and take a look at this. We'll be right back.
We've had so long to prepare for the end of this tour, and we get to play one last show for you here tonight.
A new trailer is out for Taylor Swift The Eras Tour, the final show. Shot right here in Vancouver. The concert film features the full Tortured Poets Department set and begins streaming on Disney Plus December 12th. Also debuting that day is The End of an Era, a 6-part docu-series with a behind-the-scenes look at the tour. We now know when Vancouver's recently closed Park Theatre will reopen under new management and what will be playing on the big screen that night. The former Cineplex Theatre on Cambie posted this cryptic photo on Instagram with a quote from the show Stranger Things to tease its reopening on December 31st. Netflix has confirmed Park Theatre is one of the locations where the show's finale will debut starting New Year's Eve. And one of the show's stars, Finn Wolfhard, is among the investors who stepped in to save the theatre from closing for good this fall. There's speculation he plans to attend the opening after he commented, "Copy," on the post. Well, YouTube has released its list of Canada's top trending videos of the year, and it looks as though K-pop hit all the right notes with viewers. Not only was the hit Netflix animated K-pop Demon Hunters top trending topics, but multiple songs from the musical were among the year's top trending tracks. Meantime, the song APT, Bruno Mars' Rosé K-pop group Blackpink, was listed as the top YouTube song of the year. Now with a preview of CTV News at 6, Mi-Jung Lee.
Nafisa, major changes coming to how people take safe supply drugs. The province will require safe supply drugs to be used in front of a witness. The government says it will prevent drugs from being resold illegally. Reaction from critics coming up. And Chelsea Gauthier was just 22 years old when she was stabbed to death 8 years ago. Today, her family and friends attended an emotional sentencing hearing for her killer, James Loesch. Michelle Bernaro has a full report at 6. And a devastating blow for a Vancouver Island town. The pulp mill in Crofton is shutting down, which means 350 jobs will vanish. I'll be back at 6. Nafisa?
Thanks, Mi-Jung. A group of students searches for a teddy bear after launching it into the stratosphere as a power outage leaves some skiers stranded midair and a runaway goat gets its rights in the back of a cruiser. We'll take a look at this. Here's CNN's Jeremy Roth.
Have you seen this bear? If so, you may have also seen it falling from the sky after it dropped from a weather balloon launched into the stratosphere by a UK school. According to the Walhampton School, Bradfield Bear was sent up as part of a 7th and 8th grade student project with a local spaceflight society. Tethered to a weather balloon, the BBC reports Bradfield made it an impressive 16-plus miles into the stratosphere before turbulence jostled him loose and sent him plummeting to Earth. The school shared a video on social media asking for the public's help in locating Bradfield, whom they believe may have landed somewhere in the area of Henley-on-Thames or Reading in southern England. What goes up must come down, and it's a good thing, too, because a power outage reportedly left more than a dozen skiers dangling in midair above a ski area in Wisconsin. According to WISN, the outage caused a chairlift to malfunction, trapping 14 skiers who were aboard. But not to worry, ski staff and responding emergency officials were able to rescue all without incident or injury. Finally, a Texas cop lent a helping hand to a stranded resident who just so happened to be a goat.
Where do you live?
The officer worked to corral the goat into his patrol vehicle.
Look how cool this car is. Get in the car.
And despite its attempts to ride shotgun,
no,
it was rebuffed and redirected to the back seat.
You're one bad mamma jamma.
Where the officer, who clearly does things by the book, read the goat its Miranda rights.
Hey, you have the right to remain silent.
Despite the cops' attempts to get the silly-billy suspect to speak,
rights in mind, do you still wish to talk to me?
It opted instead to exercise its right to remain a goat. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
We've got more animal stories. The Los Angeles Zoo is celebrating a baby boom. Ooh. Here is the newest arrival, a western lowland gorilla born just last week. Now, this newborn has not been named yet, but is now on display at the Campo Gorilla Reserve. It's part of a streak of 5 grade 8 births this year, including, remember this guy, the first orangutan born at the zoo in nearly 15 years? We showed him to you last month, highlighting efforts to protect these critically endangered species.
I love them so much.
I know.
They're adorable. All right, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot for tonight. Cloudy skies over Kelowna. Thanks, Jane, for sending this ominous photo in. And we want to see your scenic snapshot as well, so email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
Mi-Jung will be back for CTV News at 6 right now. Here's Sandy Ronaldo with CTV National News. Good night.